HRA 1975, April 7th, 2020, and just concluded working on the very first start of the electrical system. So I thought I'd show you guys how I did this. I used recommendations through a company called M.A.D. Electric. It's the diagram I printed off. M.A.D. Enterprises. You can find them on the internet, obviously. So I use generally this sort of schematic to make this work. So this is the very start of the truck electrical system. So just got the battery on there with 2-odd cabling, which is it's welding cable. So with the crimp-on style ends, and then yeah, you just crimp them on. There's a better shot of it. And one going right to the ground, right going to the frame here. That's a 3/8 bolt. I scraped off paint and ran the bolt right through, so it's a good ground. It all starts with good grounds, and then excuse the beer, and then ground it up there, obvious, to the negative battery cable, and then body ground. That's 14 gauge. So the positive goes to the cutoff switch, and oftentimes the cabling itself is black, but you really want to have some sort of differentiation because you don't want to mix them up and reverse polarity and damage or the system. So you can get that red electrical tape from Home Depot or something like that, and then it goes to the cutoff switch. Cutoff switch to a Ford style, and then the positive off that, and then to a Ford style solenoid, and then off of the Ford style solenoid, off that end of it down there, I go down to there's a fusible link, which is a 14 gauge fusible link. The wire itself is 10 gauge, and then to this here, right? So this will be where the battery terminal and the main battery terminal will also be off this diagram eventually. You use an 8 gauge right off your alternator, 8 gauge wiring. There's your right there to this. So that will give you a lot. That'll increase the, it's like a highway right to that thing, right? So your alternator power goes right there. That's the first mosquito here. So yeah, that's really how it's done. I mean, I'll give you this guy's M.A.D. Electrical, his M.A.D. Enterprises. I'll put it down there in the description, but that's how it's done, right? So the fusible link is there to protect the circuit if it does get, if there's a short. The fusible link should only really be used under the engine compartment, or it shouldn't be used in the cab, because when that's just like a fuse, but when it decides it had enough, it ends up creating smoke and this and that. You don't want that in your cab, for safety's sake. So yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's how I started this electrical system. It should be pretty good. I mean, the cabling at 2-odd cabling, or 2-0, whatever you want to call it, it's much larger than what you'd find in a production application for this vehicle. So, and then with the cutoff switch, it's there in case the car sits for a while, or if there's some emergency, you can just cut that off and at least stop the battery from, the battery power. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. And then obviously with a solenoid, as you guys would know as well, the Ford style solenoid reduces the amount of heat on the GM style starter, because the solenoid's up there would activate it. So that your thing off, your ignition switch would command that to put power to there. But anyways, it all works. So let's see here. This is just the cutoff switch. So wow, look at that, first electrical power right there. So anyways, just thought I'd let you guys know about that and how I started it. I'll use this proper tubing on this thing and secure it, obviously. And also, what would go off here? What will go off here is your main dash feed. So, you know, like your the main dash feed and the wiring kit I'm using. I forget what it is, but I mean, it feeds all the stuff in the dash. And anyways, that's self-explanatory. Anyways, I guess that's it for in here. For now, I just thought I'd let you guys know how I started off the electrical system and gave the cab another coat of paint here. And it's still wet. This is from last night, but it's pretty clean now. I'm probably just gonna put a carpet over eventually, or just some sort of like what I got this stuff here. That rib stuff left over, I can just put that for now. But the cab, I can't really work in here for now because it's still a little wet. It's not like 25 degrees here. It's probably more about averaging around 10 or so. So it's taking a while to dry. So I'm not going to go in there until it's fully dry, and then of course take out the dash. And yeah, I guess also big news: the engine is getting you know, it's great. The engine is getting worked on. The short blocks together right now, and here's some pictures of it. So that's great. Lastly, I don't know, for now, I can't really do much until the cab is actually dry, the floor of it, but I might start on the tail lights here, just clean them up and make sure they work. It's just one connection. So it's these ones, like this one right here, and as you can tell, someone's already messed with it, but clean them up, and that just simply goes in. This just simply goes in like that, right? Boom. So I might start a workout back here, just to keep moving on this. I guess it came with a new starter, somewhat new starter, so that's nice. The engine that was removed, the guy I bought it from was nice enough to remove the starter. So I have the starter. Here's the drive shafts. It's got one of these double drive shafts, so I'm not really sure if I'll probably just need to replace the U-joint. There's the bearing that you attach to the bottom. So I'm not too sure. I might just maybe get all one drive shaft depending on budget, but probably budget's not going to be that good. What else is new? But yeah, also organized the all the wiring area here, so it's a little easier to do all this stuff. There's obviously the kit. So I found a good video on how to wire using this Speedway Universal harness. So anyways, I'll be using that a lot. Yeah, so just chugging along here. Got the wiring area set up. This is handy. Got all the your heat shrink. Before, a lot of the stores made it so it's a lot more difficult just to go and pick up stuff. Now you have to pick up stuff curbside for a lot of stuff now, so stay away from the virus. But yeah, that's it really. So the just keep chugging along and light up your life.